Tonight's broadcast is made possible by Strack & Van Til, your favorite Indiana-made grocery store. Crowell Insurance Company, the insurance superheroes. Ironworkers Local 395, proud to be union. Four Seasons Mechanical, quality and comfort is our guarantee. Boilermakers Local 374, earn while you learn. Pulse Technology, leading the way in technological innovation for over 70 years. Visit Michigan City LaPorte, closer than you think, better than you imagine. IBEW Local 697, proud to support high school sports. Bricklayers Local 4, the best hands in the business. Economy Electric Heating and Cooling, keeping you cool in the summer and cozy in the winter. Blythe's Team Sports, where the athlete shops. And Hampton Inn, downtown Indianapolis. This is the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining us, and welcome to Baseball Night in the Region on the Region Sports Network. We come to you tonight from Lake Central High School as the Region Sports Network presents live coverage of Indiana high school baseball as the visiting Portage Indians take on the host Lake Central Indians. I'm Leo Staudeher, and I'll have the play-by-play for tonight's action of this Duneland Athletic Conference matchup, first of two this week between Portage and Lake Central. So we start the series here at LC, and two teams that will be looking to make up some ground in the Duneland standings. Portage enters with a record of 12-6 on the year, 5-3 in conference play. They are 4-2 on the road. They have lost their last two games, so they'll be looking to snap that skid as they have scored 139 runs while surrendering just 75. Lake Central is 9-6 on the year, 4-4 in Duneland play. They are 3-4 on their home field. They won last time out on Friday, and they have scored 99 runs while allowing 78. So we will continue to set the stage by taking a look at the batting orders. Batting lineups tonight are brought to you by Great Lakes Sports Hub, More Than a Dome. First, for the visiting Portage Indians, they will be led off by their left fielder, Isaiah Ruiz. He will be followed by Brody Braden, who will be batting second and playing catcher. Hunter Cole plays right field, bats third. Cody Young will be patrolling center field, and he'll be batting in the cleanup spot. Caleb Hacker will be the starting pitcher. He bats fifth. Ryan Bogue will play third base while batting sixth. Tyler Porowski bats seventh, plays second. Matt Ramian plays as the designated hitter. He will be batting eighth. And Bryce Hodges will be the shortstop. He rounds out the 1 through 9 from head coach Shane Prance. Now for the home team, the Lake Central Indians, their 1 through 9 will be as follows. Keegan O'Brien leads off, plays center field. Parker Robinson bats second, plays short. Braden Walls will be behind the plate. He will be batting third. Jacob Forstek will be batting cleanup, playing left field. Andrew Brower bats fifth, plays right. Connor Friesma plays third base, bats sixth. Tyler Thuftedal will be batting seventh while playing first base. JT Rosansky is the designated hitter. He bats eighth. And Victor Villegas rounds out the 1 through 9, playing second base. Those are the Lake Central Indians from head coach Mike Schwartz and Truber, as they will be trying to defend their home field. And now moving along to the pitching matchups. It's time to introduce the starting pitchers for today's game. That means we'll turn to the Enigenberg Exteriors Home Improvement Hurlers for today, presented by Enigenberg Exteriors. For the home team, they will send Mark Passo to the mound. The pitcher starts with a record of 2-2 on the year with 6 appearances this season, earned run average of 241 with 20 1/3 innings of work on the mound. 18 hits scattered throughout those with 10 runs, 7 of which were earned. He has walked 9 batters while striking out 17. The Portage Indians will counter with Caleb Hacker, the senior on the mound, with a record of 1-1 on the year. He has an earned run average of 214 over 5 appearances in which he's gone 16 1/3 innings with 12 hits, 9 runs, 5 earned. He has walked 15 batters while striking out 25. Those are your Enigenberg Exteriors Home Improvement Hurlers for tonight's game. Enigenberg Exteriors, experienced roofing and siding contractors serving Indiana, Illinois, and Tennessee. Visit them on the web at ebergexteriors.com. And one look at the pregame forecast The game night forecast is brought to you by our friends at Economy Electric Heating and Cooling. Tonight's forecast in St. John is 55 degrees. It's cloudy, but the good news is the rain seems to be away from the area, making it a good night for baseball here in St. John. There's not much wind to speak of as we take a look at the flag out in center field. That's relatively still, so a good day for a ball game here at Lake Central. As that's the game night forecast brought to you by Economy Electric Heating and Cooling, keeping you cool in the summer and cozy in the winter. We will step aside. When we come back, we will continue to set the stage for this Duneland matchup and have the first pitch. So stick around. You're watching Baseball Night on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Get Pulse technology on your team. Hit a home run with our managed print and copier services, IT and technology solutions, office furniture and design services, office supplies, scoreboards, and AV solutions.
Have you heard? Stratton-Manteau was voted Best of the Region in 2025 in several categories, including Best Caterer, Deli, Flower Shop, Food and Grocery Delivery, Fried Chicken, Place to Buy Produce, Place to Buy Seafood, Loyalty Program, and Grocery Store. We're proud to be recognized by our community, and we're committed to continuing to deliver the variety, value, and convenience you deserve. See for yourself what it means to be the best when you shop at Stratton-Manteau.
Thinking about what to do after high school? Consider a career with Boilermakers Local 374. As a Boilermaker apprentice, you'll earn while you learn. We offer excellent wages and benefits, and as part of our no-cost hands-on apprenticeship program, you'll learn from the best in state-of-the-art training centers and on the job. Become a union Boilermaker and get on your way to a great career. Find out more, visit www.local374.org or call 219-845-1000.
Four Seasons Mechanical proudly serves Northwest Indiana, providing quality, reasonably priced, reliable service. With a quality and comfort guarantee, the professionals at Four Seasons Mechanical offer a wide range of services in heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. Whether it's residential or commercial, Four Seasons Mechanical is there 24/7. To find out more, the website is fourseasonsmechanical.com or give them a call at 219-756-7020. Four Seasons Mechanical, your indoor air quality specialists.
I'm Crowell Company's Lantern Man. If you're a contractor, it's my job to make your insurance coverage simple and affordable. Because I know time is money, I'll come to your business. Certificates and bonds are a snap. Wherever you are, whatever business you're in, we've got you covered. As Crowell Company's Lantern Man, I'm your insurance superhero.
Crowell Company's Insurance Professionals, Highland, Merrillville, and Michigan City.
As we get ready for first pitch between Portage and Lake Central, we will take a look at some of the keys to the game for each side. For the Indians of Portage, they'll be looking to win the free 90 game for pitchers working ahead in the counts and for the batters to hit with runners in scoring position, trying to take care after each other, string together some consecutive quality at-bats. As for Lake Central, some of their keys, we'll be starting with the pitching. After a couple games last week where the starting pitching was roughed up for some runs in the early innings, they'll be looking to get some quality innings at the beginning of the game. So they will try to be competitive at the start, and offensively they'll look to make sure they are patient and force the Portage pitchers to have to throw strikes and then put good swings on those strikes. So both teams really trying to emphasize the quality starts, and especially with two aces pitching today in Hacker and Paso. Those at-bats will be tough to get good swings on for the offenses. You might not be able to barrel one up and send it out the yard, but if you can just put it into the gap, maybe stretch a single into a double, and then have the guys in the lineup behind you try to bring you home, it will be a day where extra base hits might be tough to find with two very good pitchers throwing, so it all comes down to which team can produce with runners on base and maybe force an early exit to those tough starters, as we've seen Hacker a few times this year with some good velocity on that fastball, and then Paso, another top pitcher in the area for Lake Central. So these offenses will have to really try to dig in and get some good swings against them. And two teams right near each other in the Duneland standings, so this is where you can make up some ground. We've seen both teams have had some quality wins on the year, and now you want to try to separate yourselves with Portage at 5-3, Lake Central at 4-4. This is where you could add a little distance if either team, if you're able to sweep the series, or the way this has gone with both teams playing well, it could just be a split, but this is a pivotal Duneland Athletic Conference series between Portage and Lake Central. Should be exciting to see how things go with Hacker and Paso battling on the mound and some quality hitters scattered throughout as the starting lineups are being introduced. We will have the national anthem, and then we'll have first pitch, so keep things locked in. It's baseball night on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Earn while you learn from the best hands in the business. The Bricklayers Allied Craft Workers for Indiana, Kentucky Apprenticeship. That's right, this is a paid apprenticeship.
I'm getting an education while learning a trade and getting paid for it.
The thing that surprised me the most about this apprenticeship program is the respect I have received after the proper time and training.
Classes start soon, so apply now. There are training centers throughout Indiana and Kentucky. We are the Bricklayers and Allied Craft Workers for Indiana, Kentucky Apprenticeship. The best hands in the business.
At American Testing Services, based in Hobart, Indiana, we specialize in NDT drone inspections and heat treatment services for local mills, fab shops, and facilities across the country. From Northwest Indiana to nationwide, we deliver precision, safety, and reliability. American Testing Services, America's trusted name in NDT.
IBEW Local 697 isn't just wiring buildings. We're woven into the very fabric of Northwest Indiana. We're your neighbors. Our kids go to school with yours. We stand in the same bleachers cheering for the same high school teams. When you hire a union electrician, you're not just getting the highest quality work. You're supporting our community. IBEW Local 697, proudly powering our own.
Sometimes the hardest part of improving your business isn't coming up with a great idea. It's knowing what to do with it. Chester Inc. Architectural and Construction Services is ready to meet all your industrial and commercial construction needs. Whether it's a small build-out or a complete construction project, Chester will design, build, and finance. Our team eliminates multiple contractors, providing you a single point of contact while staying within your budget. Chester Inc. Architectural and Construction Services, turning your ideas into realities.
With electrical services from Economy Electric Heating and Cooling, you can radiate the perfect amount of light and energy into your home. From rewiring and code upgrades to ceiling fans, lighting, security, and more, Economy Electric Heating and Cooling's trained electricians will make sure you can enjoy your home on full power all the time. For a free estimate on electrical work, call Economy Electric Heating and Cooling at 219-923-4441, and you can visit them on the web at forajobdoneright.com. That's the number 4, ajobdoneright.com.
You ready? Let's go! Yeah. For those of you that want to know what we're all about, it's like this, y'all. This is 10% luck, 20% skill, 15% concentrated power of will, 5% pleasure, 50% pain, and 100% reason to remember the name.
Your future starts
here!
Mark Passo goes through his final warm-up tosses as we are ready to begin here at Lake Central, where the Indians are hosting Portage in a big Duneland Athletic Conference matchup. It will be Passo on the mound, the right-hander. The junior right-hander gets ready to face the freshman right-handed batter, Isaiah Ruiz, playing left field today. Passo winds and fires, sends a strike to the corner at 450 as we are underway here at LC. Ruiz, the freshman, batting .283 on the year, .468 on base percentage. Evens the count at 1-1, following that one low and away. And 13 hits on the year. That can be a big task, being the first name on the lineup card, as he takes another fastball to the corner, 1-2, for a freshman trying to face pitchers that could be 4 years older than you. The 1-2 outside, we go 2-2, but a couple of freshmen in the lineup for Portage, and this is a squad that's been winning a lot of games, so some of that youth has helped them win some close ball games. The 2-2 outside, we go full at 3-2, but Ruiz has handled duties at catcher and the outfield this season, and then Bryce Hodges, another freshman, the starting shortstop. So a couple of the youngsters helping out. The payoff pitch fouled away by Ruiz, so the count extends, and that's what you want from your leadoff hitter, wasting a full count pitch, now going to 7 pitches in the at-bat. That helps the guys in the dugout behind him get a look at what the pitcher's working with. On the 3-2, this is elevated, curling down the right field line, potentially playable for Brower, who has to go sliding as then it sails over the fence out of play. So the lengthy at-bat between Ruiz and Passo continues. So now the batters in the on-deck circle and later in the dugout, they're watching Passo, trying to get his timing as Ruiz fouls another one away. So we're getting closer to 10 pitches in the opening at-bat. So the freshman Ruiz looking like a veteran here. And that's a different mentality, batting out of the leadoff spot too. We've seen even some great hitters at the major league level struggle with batting in the top spot. The 3-2, grounded towards shortstop. Robinson scoops it up, throws over in time for out number 1. So the lengthy at-bat is won by the pitcher as he was able to induce a ground ball to short where Robinson angled over and was able to track it down. A smooth transition led to a good throw to Thuftedal at first, and now Brody Braden bats with 1 away and nobody on. Grasso speeds 1 high, a little inside as well for ball 1. Braden batting .286 on the year with 16 hits, has driven in 10 runs. He's ahead in the count 1-0. Now for Passo after a lengthy at bat, we'll see how he settles in here. The 1-0 fouled away and was winding away from the batter. He had to just reach and try to knock it away. So the count goes 1-1 with the leadoff man out. Braden scored the first run of the game in last week's, and a real statement win for Portage. A 4-3 win, or a 3-2 win over Crown Point on the road. As the fastball is upstairs, count goes 2-1, but for a Portage group, that was a real statement win after they faced the Bulldogs the night prior, lost a 1-run game, were able to bounce back the following day and beat Crown Point at their field. And count 3-1 after the breaking ball was inside to Braden. A Portage team that, with 12 wins on the year, could match last season's win total with their next victory. As the calendar just flipped to May, and they're already at 12 wins. They won 13 last year. So the Portage program trending in the right direction after Braden fouls that pitch away. We go full at 3-2. The payoff pitch is high for ball 4. It's a walk to Braden. He's on with 1 away, and the batter is now Hunter Cole.
Now batting right fielder, number 14.
Back-to-back lengthy at-bats to start the game from Ruiz and Braden. One ends with a ground out. The next one results in a walk, puts a man on base for Cole. We'll look to see if he could get Braden on the move here. Out of the stretch, Passo has this one fouled away by Cole, the right fielder today, also part of the Portage pitching rotation. Bats .341 on the season, though. But the count begins 0-1 after a foul ball toward the football bleachers. Stepping out to a lead at first base is Braden. Paso throws over. Portage wearing their black uniforms with red numbers outlined in white. As Cole fouls it away near the hands, the count goes 0-2. Gray pants with a red stripe down the side. When they are in the field defensively, they'll be wearing black caps with a red bill and a white panel at the front. Paso delivers the 0-2. Breaking ball just drops away from that outer corner to make it a 1-2 at bat. Lake Central defensively wearing blue caps with a white panel at the front. The 1-2 swing and a miss, strike 3. He took a little something off that one, got Cole to swing above it. A nice pitch with some good movement for out number 2. So now it's up to Cody Young with 2 away and a runner at first base. But to complete the Lake Central uniforms, white jerseys, white pants with blue pinstripes and blue numbers. And we'll see a substitute runner for the catcher, Braden, at first base. But it's Young batting with 2 outs and a runner on. That was a good bounce back at bat for Paso after the walk to throw a good pitch with 2 strikes to get Cole swinging. He throws over to first base, where the runner's able to get back. Looking for his first pitch to Cody Young. Young batting .188 on the year with 9 hits. He's driven in 8 runs. He bats with a teammate aboard at first. Another throw down to first, and now a third throw down to first base, but still getting back safely as the runner. But certainly Paso mindful of that runner and seeing him step out to that lead. Now his first pitch to Young was a fastball high and away. Count starts 1-0. Cody Young, a multi-sport athlete for Portage, also their starting quarterback on the gridiron, and he plays center field on the diamond. The 1-0. Young lifts it towards center field, charging in, and making the catch on the run is O'Brien for out number 3. Portage was able to get a runner on base, but they were unable to advance him. We will head to the bottom of the first inning to see Lake Central take their first at-bats. That's next, so stick around. You're watching Baseball Night on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
With offices in Munster and Cedar Lake, Ethos Dental Group offers a full scope of general and cosmetic dentistry with expertise ranging from porcelain veneers to dental implants, crowns, and bridges. At Ethos Dental Group, you're assured that Dr. Mark Stojkovic and his associates, Dr. Emily Hansen and Dr. Brian Douts, utilize the latest in technology. Check out ethosdentalgroup.com or call 219-595-3432 to schedule an appointment. Ethos Dental Group, dental care you can believe in.
I was born, raised, started the family, and worked my nearly 30-year career in law enforcement, both as a local police officer and as an ATF agent, all here in Lake County. I promise to lead differently, restore the public's trust in the Sheriff's Department, and to build a world-class police organization that is focused on serving you. In this election, Lake County residents have a different choice, a better way. I'm Jason Gore, and I approve this message.
Need a winning formula? We have one. Region Sports is powered by Pulse Technology, the official toner provider of the Region Sports Network, the only game in town. We can get ready for the bottom of the first inning. It will be O'Brien, Robinson, and Walls to face Caleb Hacker. Hacker, the right-hander, will look to try to work efficiently through this top of the order from Lake Central. And in the top half of the inning for LC, you had to be happy with the way Paso was able to work quickly to get those last 2 outs after 2 long at-bats, both going the distance, 3-2. He was able to then get a quick strikeout to Cole and then a fly out to Young to end the inning with no hits and 1 runner left on base. So now it'll be Hacker's turn, and we'll see what he's working with today, the right-hander. After a very good game in his last Duneland start against Crown Point, and that was at Portage. Hacker took the tough luck loss in a 3-2 loss to Crown Point, but then bounced back well offensively the following day with a 2 RBI single in the first inning. But the Purdue Northwest commit will look to try to help his team move along against a tough Lake Central lineup as Hacker works on the mound. For Portage, a multi-year varsity starter, so one of those guys that's played a lot of baseball, has maybe seen a lot of these Lake Central guys quite a lot over the years, and you start to pick up some different observations after you've faced a team like Lake Central for 4 years. You get familiar with these guys. You might know some of them from club ball, and that experience can really pay off by the time you're a senior as that trusted guy to start the week as the Tuesday starter. Now he steps onto the mound to face Keegan O'Brien, the left-handed batting center fielder from Lake Central. Hacker sends one low for ball 1 to start the at-bat. O'Brien bats .277 on the year, 13 hits. He has scored 10 runs. He works in the leadoff spot today. He ended the last inning on that flyout, so now he gets to bat. Waits for the 1-0 from Hacker. That's low, starts the count 2-0, and that was something both coaches emphasized on their pregame keys, was to force the starters to have to throw strikes. The 2-0. O'Brien goes after it, lofts it towards right center field. Cole and Young both charge towards it. It's the center fielder, Young, who is able to get to it first for the first out of the game. So fly out towards the gap, starts the inning with an out, and now it'll be Parker Robinson, the Lake Central shortstop, batting against Hacker. Robinson batting .333 on the year, on base percentage of .509, .359 slugging. A breaking ball from Hacker is at the corner for strike 1. But going back to that point about both coaches emphasizing make the starters have to beat them with strikes, it can sound like a cliche, but that's a very important point, as you don't want to help the starting pitchers out by chasing stuff outside the zone. You want to make sure they beat you with a good pitch. As the fastball from Hacker is low, a good take from Robinson to even the count at a ball and a strike. So Braden behind the plate, Hacker on the mound, Robinson is the batter. The righty delivers the 2-1. It's fouled towards the screen to even the count at 2 apiece. Robinson at Oklahoma commit, someone that Lake Central is looking to count on to help set the tone here in this Duneland matchup against Portage. The 2-2 pitch. Fastball low will go full at 3-2. That could be a tempting pitch to get to, but it just continued to drop. Robinson thought better, watched it go by for a ball, and has worked the count full at 3-2. This time he chops it away foul, just trying to stay alive on one that was curling in towards him. Knocks it down, and the at-bat continues. Hacker looks towards the plate, kicks, delivers, 3-2, fouled away by Robinson, lifted towards the football field for a deep foul ball. So a good battle here between the junior shortstop and Robinson, the senior pitcher and Hacker. We'll see who will win this battle. 3-2, it's low. It will be Robinson reaching base with a walk. He's trying to get him to swing over that fastball, but it seemed to drop down too early as it was towards the left-handed batter's box, and Robinson wasn't going to chase on that one. So he earns his 12th walk of the year, and that sets the table for Braden Walls to bat. Walls, the catcher, junior, bats left-handed. First pitch from Hacker is high for ball 1. So Walls bats with a friend at first base. And the leadoff man O'Brien flew out to center. So 1 out, a runner on. Scoreless here in the first as Hacker throws over to first base, but sliding in with plenty of time was Robinson. Walls another Division I commit to play at Ball State. Waits for the 1-0 from Hacker. Walls fouls it towards the parking lot on the left side of the concourse, so the count evens up at 1-1. Hacker takes a peek at Robinson now, looks towards the plate. His 1-1 pitch is put through between first and second for a one-out single for Walls. That keeps the line moving for Lake Central. Oh, a good swing from Walls. He was able to locate that one and drive it between Wallace and Perowski for a single, and talked about it a little bit pre-game. It might not be the biggest swing today, but it will have to be opportunities hitting with runners on base. So Walls was able to advance Robinson to scoring position. He's at first. And there's only one out in the inning as Hacker has this one elevated towards right field from Forstek. Playable, but sliding in foul territory was Cole, and he couldn't quite make the catch. So it's a long strike. That just continued to hook into foul territory towards that. Well, there's a lot of room on either baseline in foul territory, so that could be tricky for corner infielders or outfielders to navigate. That was Cole, the right fielder, charging in and trying to make that feet-first slide to get to it. It was just a little bit ahead of him. The count opens 0-1. Hacker brings it towards the plate, and Forstek goes after it again, fouls it to the third base side, and makes it an 0-2 count. But working with runners at first and second, only one out. Could be a big opportunity for Lake Central to start the ball game with a run. Hacker looks at Robinson at second, kicks, goes to the plate. That was high for a ball, makes it a 1-2 count. And when you're ahead in the count like Hacker, you can afford to waste a pitch like that. Maybe if he chases after it, but more than likely it's just taken for a ball. So a ball and 2 strikes. As Robinson steps out to that lead at second base. Forstek loops it towards left field. It will drop and roll to Ruiz. Robinson rounds the corner. He will score. And pulling up to third base safely is Walls. It's an RBI double for Forstek, and Lake Central strikes first. So the lefty, Forstek, able to go opposite field, looping it towards left. And then Robinson, that was all the head start time he needed, was able to see it drop, knew he was going to be able to score. And then Walls goes from first to third. Forstek ends up at second base. And now Lake Central has 2 runners in scoring position with the batter Andrew Brower. That's the way you want to start a ball game, especially going against your opponent's top pitcher. Chasing in a run, and now a threat for more with just one out. Brower with another take makes it a 2-0 count. Brower, another left-handed batter batting against Hacker. Awaits the 2-0 pitch. That's another fastball high for ball 3. Brower, a senior outfielder, looking to produce here. With runners at second and third, just one out. The count is 3-0. And the fastball finds the corner to make it a 3-1 count. Brower didn't go for that one. He would have had to reach to the outer corner and probably tap it towards third base. So I'm looking to wait for his pitch. The 3-1. On the off-speed delivery, he swings ahead of it, has loaded the count now, 3-2. But a good spot for Brower, who has 6 RBIs on the year. Has 2 teammates on base. The payoff pitch is high for ball 4. It's a walk, and that will load the bases. for Connor Friesma.
Now batting third baseman number
Friesma
13,
bats with
Connor
a Lake Central player at every station and one out for LC. This is really a chance where you could make it an uncomfortable spot for Hacker and company from Portage. In the first inning, they have scored 1 run and have the maximum on base. That's the thing with baseball. Sometimes you can't take these opportunities for granted. If you get the bases loaded in the first inning and you capitalize on it, that could really give your side a lot of momentum, make it that much tougher of a obstacle for the opposing team. But if you're Hacker and Portage and you can sneak your way out of this jam with just 1 run allowed, that could maybe give them a boost. And so it's hard to say in the bottom of the first inning we're at one of the most crucial points of the game, but it could go like that sometimes where whoever is able to make the most of this situation, that could energize them and, in a way, help them to get the victory. But the base is loaded with just 1 out. Then it's a situation that favors Lake Central here. But for Hacker and Portage, they'll look to prevent the home team from adding to what's been a 1-run inning. A fastball was high and away to Friesma. That's 300 on the year. He has 9 RBIs with a potential to add to that. The 1-0. Friesma gets it off the end of the bat, but it hooks foul, evens the count at 1 apiece. So Friesma, the junior, playing third base today, could impact the game with a good swing here. 1-1. It's just above the outer corner, makes it a 2-1 count. Wells, the runner at third, Forstek at second, and Brower at first. The 2-1 pitch from Hacker. Friesma, again off the end of the bat, hooks it towards the third base side. Evens the count at 2 apiece. Towards the third base side, just past Lake Central's bullpen, near the parking lot. So Friesma down to his last strike with the count 2-2. Hacker looks to his catcher, kicks, goes to the plate. Friesma cues it towards left field. Ruiz will charge in, makes the catch, and sends a throw towards the plate that sails over the catcher, caroms off the backstop, but it will allow 1 run to score. Now charging to the plate is Forstek. He slides in safely as well. So 2 runs score on the play. Lake Central makes it a 3-spot in the bottom of the first inning with Brower still at third base. But there are 2 away, and the batter will now be Thuftedal. So a fly out to left field, and that'll be a sacrifice fly from Friesma. Drives in the first run. Wells was able to score, but then the throw that went past the catcher then gave Forstek a chance to score from second base and allowed Brower to end up at third. So Lake Central capitalizing on the spot as this one skips foul down the first base line to Thuftedal. But when you are able to load the bases in the first inning, you can't really go back to the dugout empty-handed. You have to try to scratch those runs across the plate by whatever means necessary. And sometimes that's just a sacrifice fly. The 0-2, fouled away. Count remains 0-2. Hacker a strike away from getting out of this inning with a runner at third base. There are 2 outs. Who has to appreciate this would be Mark Passo, staying loose in the Lake Central dugout, the starting pitcher. When your offense can put a crooked number on the board in their first at-bats, that really helps. The 0-2 is low, makes it a 1-2 count. So a ball and 2 strikes to Thuftedal. That's 205 on the year. Tries to get to the 1-2, but waves over it for strike 3. That's how the first inning will end. But Lake Central is able to put a crooked number on the board. We're through 1. It's LC 3, Portage nothing. You're watching Baseball Night on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Meet Scott Miller, a lifelong Northwest Indiana resident. Scott has spent his career serving his community as a teacher, school leader, and superintendent of Hammond schools. Today, he serves as chief of staff for the city of Hammond, helping lead operations and guide decisions that impact local families every day. Known for tackling tough challenges and making responsible, honest decisions, Scott is ready to bring steady leadership to the Lake County Council. Scott Miller, responsible, experienced, ready.
At Blyce, we're used to having the athlete shop at our store.
Down, sit, put.
But sometimes they get carried away. Blyce, this is where the athlete shops.
Be sure to stay connected with all things Region Sports, as we are always active on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, X, and at our website at regionsports.com. Celebrating over 25 years, we are proud to still be the only game in town. Top of the second inning, as Lake Central hosts Portage, it was Lake Central able to make the most of their first at-bats, scoring 3 runs on 2 hits in the first. And now it will be Caleb Hacker leading off for Portage, and so he could cut into that deficit and help his own cause as the starting pitcher, and was trying to work out of that bases-loaded jam, but Lake Central was able to capitalize and score 3 runs in the frame. So now Hacker will look to help his team out, bounce back, with still a lot of baseball left to be played today, but the comeback, you'd like to start it sooner rather than later for Portage. But for Paso and Lake Central, as he works the count 2-0, you're trying to make sure that you don't let Portage back in this game. You were able to make the most out of your opportunities in the first inning. Now you have a 3-run cushion. 2-0, check swing from Hacker. We go 2-1. Hacker bats .310 on the year, leads the way for Portage with runs driven in. 22 ribbies on the year. He cracks this one towards third base, scooped up by Friesma, and he throws it on a line to retire Hacker for out number 1. Some smooth fielding by Friesma at third base. As it was skipping its way towards him, he had to race in. If he waited for that to get back to him, Hacker probably reaches. So he had to charge in, scoop it on the run, and throw a strike to first base for out number 1. Now the batter is Ryan Bogue. Bogue lays off that first pitch breaking ball from Paso. Starts the count 1-0. Bogue made some very good defensive plays at third last week when we saw Portage play at Crown Point. And he'll look to make some plays with his bat here as the count 2-0. Steps in with an average of .314. 16 hits on the year. 2-0. Called strike 1. And 3 triples to speak of, so that tells you about the speed he can have. If he's able to put one down the line or into a gap, he could stretch it out and go for 3. 2-1. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Is trying to get to that one high and away, but couldn't get the timing right, so the count is even at 2 apiece. The windup and the delivery from Paso. 2-2. Skip towards the pitcher. He's able to make the snow cone grab. Trots over towards first, tosses it to Thuftedal for out number 2. It always could be a difficult play when you finish your throw to the plate and then it gets poked right back to you as the pitcher, but some good defense by Paso to get the leather on it and then travel towards first base to handle that one. Made it look easy, although that was not a routine play for the pitcher on the mound. It has resulted in 2 quick groundouts. With Tyler Perowski batting, 2 away, nobody on. In the top of the first inning, Paso's windup. Inside, evens the count at 1-1. Porowski batting .291 this season, and for Paso, you have to like how quickly he's worked in this inning. The 1-1, outside 2-1, but if you're able to find a rhythm, especially pitching with the lead, it helps to work quickly and throw a lot of strikes, as he's been able to do so far. The 2-1. Nice breaking ball, tailing away from the batter. Porowski couldn't get to it. Now there are 2 strikes in the count, 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. Top of the second inning. And the righty-on-righty matchup, the windup from Paso. Off the end of the bat towards second base. Villegas tosses to first in time for out number 3. So a quick 1-2-3 inning featuring 3 groundouts. We are an inning and a half into this game. It's Lake Central leading 3-0. You're watching Baseball Night on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Located in the heart of downtown Indianapolis, the newly renovated Hampton Inn is within walking distance to over 30 restaurants and attractions, including Lucas Oilfield and Gamebridge Fieldhouse. Hampton Inn has much to offer, including a hot breakfast, high-speed internet access in every room, as well as a fitness center. Why wait? Make your reservations today. Call 317-261-1200 or make them on the web at hamptonin3.hilton.com. Hampton Inn, Indianapolis, downtown.
Some see a wrestling match. We see a 6-minute lesson in grit. Some see a coach sending a runner home. We see a mentor guiding a student athlete into the future. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
At the conclusion of tonight's game, we'll name the Crowell Companies Lantern Man Superhero of the Game. Crowell Companies proud to recognize the superheroes on the diamond. So Caleb Hacker back out for the bottom of the second inning. He'll face Rosansky, Villegas, and then the top of the order, O'Brien from Lake Central, as Lake Central will try to add to what they did in the first inning, scoring 3 runs on 2 hits. And then for Hacker on the other end, trying to settle in, have that short memory, forget what happened in the first inning, and just try to keep the deficit at just 3 runs here. The right-hander speeds a first pitch ball inside to Rosansky, working as a designated hitter today. That's .286. He waits for the 1-0 and takes it for a ride towards center field, but that will be a quick trip for Young to step in and make the catch for the first out of the inning. So Rosansky flies out to center field. Victor Villegas will bat, the Lake Central second baseman. Villegas, a senior, batting out of the 9 spot today, but that could be as Hacker's first pitch breaks inside, but for ball 1. But sometimes you like having, as a manager or a coach, you like having a trusted upperclassman in the 9 spot. Waiting for the 1-0. Villegas takes it for strike 1. But if you get a guy who can reach base a lot, take some good at-bats, and then get the top of the order up for their second at-bat with a runner on, that's a good advantage for them. So having Villegas there with a .366 on-base percentage, so he can help out O'Brien or Robinson or Wells as they get ready for their second or third at-bats, and trying to do so with a runner on base. The count 2-1. Hacker's pitch. The fastball rises high and away. So we go 3-1, and Villegas doing his job here, trying to reach. He's walked 5 times on the season. He's in the right-handed batter's box with a 3-1 advantage in the count. It'll go 3-2 as Hacker is able to send a fastball into the zone to make it a full count at 3-2. Now we wait for the payoff pitch. Fastball at the corner, called strike 3. Hacker has made the second out in the inning, getting to retire Villegas on strikes. Now Keegan O'Brien will try to keep things going with 2 outs, nobody on. The Lake Central center fielder flew out to his counterpart Young in the first inning. Now facing Hacker for a second time. The first pitch was high for a ball. It was that breaking ball, but it was a little too high. Here's the 1-0 from the righty Hacker. Skips inside and low. So we go 2-0. But now just trying for Hacker. If he can face O'Brien here with 2 outs. No trouble on the base paths. If you can retire him, get your bats back up. That's a good day's work in the second inning. But O'Brien trying to break up this rhythm as he lines one towards right field. It will land in front of Young. So it's a 2-out single for Keegan O'Brien. And that will extend the inning for Lake Central. And it brings Parker Robinson up to bat. Robinson works with 2 outs and a runner at first base. He walked and later scored in the first inning. So now his second trip up to the plate against Hacker. With O'Brien at first base, Hacker speeds a strike to the corner. The 0-1 pitch to Robinson. O'Brien's running with it. The throw down to second. Sliding in safely is O'Brien as the throw from Braden skips into center field. But he looked like he had that throw beat as he had a good jump. Was running with the pitch there, so the count 1-1. O'Brien at second base, now in scoring position. Porowski steps towards second to try to keep him in check. Hacker's 1-1 pitch. Robinson just gets a piece of it. Foul tip called for strike 2. Looked like he was either doing that check swing or trying to get out of the way, and it just got a piece of the bat. Now a ball and 2 strikes. Hacker gets the sign from Braden. Kicks and goes towards the plate. O'Brien's running for third, but Robinson swats it away. Foul. So O'Brien slid in head first towards third base. He'll have to get back on his feet, go back to second base, and we're back to 1-2 in the count with 2 away. Hacker steps off the rubber and looks down towards second base. Count right back where it was, a ball and 2 strikes. Parker Robinson the batter. Time called at the plate after a long set from Hacker, and so now we'll start over. Hacker was able to get a flyout and a strikeout against the first 2 batters. O'Brien singled with 2 away, then stole second. Now the 1-2 to Robinson. That was breaking away from the right-handed batter as called for a ball. We go 2-2. Some good movement on that one. Starts over the plate, but then starts to slide away. But Robinson wasn't fooled, didn't chase it. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, and a runner at second in the last of the second inning. The breakthrough pitch. Robinson sends it to his counterpart Hodges, who will throw over to first base or to third base. Third base where Bogue then lost it while he was trying to apply the tag to O'Brien. So that will put Robinson on base. Robinson grounded it on 1 hop towards short. Hodges fielded it cleanly, then threw over to third base to try to get O'Brien, and then Bogue we see on the replay, couldn't quite get the tag. He lost the baseball, so now safe at first base is Robinson. That's a tough one for Portage, is not able to deliver the out. The top of the order being tricky to face here in their second trip to the plate. There was a first pitch strike to Braden Wells. He bats with runners at the corners and 2 away. The 0-1 pitch is a little too high for a ball. Makes it a 1-1 count. Time is called. It's a tough one for the shortstop Hodges to try to decide what to do with that. You had O'Brien with good speed running for third base. That was the closer throw to him for him, but it's that tough, that split-second decision where trying to decide, do I throw to first or Robinson was flying down the line. He would be tough to get to third base, try to get O'Brien, and just didn't quite go their way as the count is 2-1 to Wells. Wells lofts it towards left field. Ruiz will angle to his right, camps out, and makes the catch for out number 3. So despite a 2-out rally, the Indians unable to send anything across to the plate. We are through 2 innings. It's Lake Central 3, Portage 0. You're watching Baseball Night on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Get Pulse technology on your team. Hit a home run with our managed print and copier services, IT and technology solutions, office furniture and design services, office supplies, scoreboards, and AV solutions.
Have you heard? Stratford Manteau was voted Best of the Region 2025 in several categories, including Best Caterer, Deli, Flower Shop, Food and Grocery Delivery, Fried Chicken, Place to Buy Produce, Place to Buy Seafood, Loyalty Program, and Grocery Store. We're proud to be recognized by our community, and we're committed to continuing to deliver the variety, value, and convenience you deserve. See for yourself what it means to be the best when you shop at Stratford Manteau.
Third inning about to begin at Lake Central, where we have a battle between 2 Duneland Athletic Conference rivals between Lake Central and Portage. It'll be Ramian, Hodges, and then the top of the order, Ruiz, due up for Portage as they'll look to try to work their way back in after a bottom of the third inning where you have to be pleased with how Caleb Hacker was able to pitch around some trouble with the 2 top batters in the Lake Central order at the corners, and then Braden Wells batting. He was able to execute a fly out to left field to leave those 2 runners stranded. It could have been a bumpy spot if Wells was able to reach base or drive in a run, and for Hacker, he was able to get the third out, leave those 2 runners on base, and then get his team's bats back up where they'll have to face a tough pitcher in Mark Passo, who worked very quickly in the second inning, able to deliver 3 groundouts. So now for Portage, you're trying to find a way to get something going against Passo. As Matt Remain will bat for Portage, working as the designated hitter today. Takes the 0-1 pitch towards center field, but O'Brien's able to shuffle over to his right, makes the catch for the first out. So the second fly out towards O'Brien in center, he's been able to handle both. Now Bryce Hodges will bat. Touched on it a little bit in the first inning, but Hodges, part of that freshman duo that's been mainstays in the lineup for Portage, playing shortstop, takes the first pitch, a breaking ball from Passo for a strike. Waves over the 0-1 to make it a 0-2 count, and for 2 freshmen playing a lot on the varsity level, that's trying to get a feel for the pitching. As the count goes 1-2, you think about it, probably last year playing against 13 and 14-year-olds, dominating. Now you're facing 17-year-olds, 18-year-olds that throw for much higher velocity, can probably better command and control on their pitches. That's hard to figure out at the varsity level, but both Ruiz and Hodges, mainstays in the starting lineup for Portage, as the breaking ball from Passo finds the outer corner for strike 3. He sends Hodges back to the dugout looking Second strikeout of the day for Paso. Now there are 2 outs and nobody on base for Isaiah Ruiz. So Ruiz will try to keep the inning going here for Portage. The first pitch from Paso drops in for a strike. So count 0-1 as Paso winds. Ruiz lofts this one foul and almost playable for our cameraman Aaron Svetlin, but that goes past him for a long strike 2. Now Ruiz finds himself down to his last strike as Portage trying to find a way to produce something against Paso. The 0-2 skips towards shortstop. Robinson travels a long way to try to collect it, but will be unable to make the throw. He was playing closer to the third base side, and so Ruiz skipped it through the middle of the infield where Robinson was able to get to it, but by the time he fields it, you see on the replay that Ruiz is already aboard at first base, so a deep infield single with 2 away for Ruiz, and then gets a bit of a rally going for Portage. Now the batter will be Brody Braden. Braden, prior to that single from Ruiz, was the only base runner of the day for Portage. He walked in the first inning. So now he bats with 2 away and a runner at first. Check from Paso to Ruiz at first as he spins the first pitch high for ball 1. So the count goes 1-1 to Braden. Another thought on those 2 freshmen, Ruiz and Hodges, both play premium positions defensively. Ruiz today playing left field but plays a lot of catcher, and then Hodges playing shortstop. The 1-0 fastball at the corner makes it a 1-1 count, but to trust underclassmen in 2 big spots like that, that's a good sign from Shane Prance and his lineup, where not just for the short term but for the long term, where you're able to get guys reps at those spots and move down the line. As the count goes 1-2 to Braden. He fouled that one away. But Paso working with a ball and 2 strikes. The 1-2 cued foul, curling along the right field line, and it will land in front of Brower. So a long foul ball keeps it a 1-2 count. To round out that thought on Ruiz, we received word his grandfather, a good friend of our executive producer, Chris Ramirez, and longtime affiliate with Hammond Boxing Club, as Ruiz also, in addition to baseball, trains with the Hammond Boxing Club as well. So a theme today with several multi-sport athletes. Ruiz, the runner at first. As the count goes 2-2 to Braden. Braden, we saw work that lengthy at-bat in the first inning to earn the walk. We'll see what he can do here in his second meeting with Paso as he fouls that one near the hands. Running with the throw was Ruiz, and the count stays 2-2. It's a tough pitch to try to drive as it was rising. He had to get defensive and just got it above the hand, so you'll live to fight for another look here for Braden. Had to get defensive with 2 strikes. The 2-2. Braden plays it towards Robinson at short. He vacuums it up, steps over to second base where he will step on the cushion for out number 3. So a 2-out single doesn't come back to hurt Paso and Lake Central. We will head to the bottom of the 3rd inning. The score remains 3-0. You're watching Baseball Night on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Thinking about what to do after high school? Consider a career with Boilermakers Local 374. As a Boilermaker apprentice, you'll earn while you learn. We offer excellent wages and benefits, and as part of our no-cost hands-on apprenticeship program, you'll learn from the best in state-of-the-art training centers and on the job. Become a union Boilermaker and get on your way to a great career. Find out more, visit www.local374.org or call 219-845-1000.
Four Seasons Mechanical proudly serves Northwest Indiana, providing quality, reasonably priced, reliable service. With a quality and comfort guarantee, the professionals at Four Seasons Mechanical offer a wide range of services in heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. Whether it's residential or commercial, Four Seasons Mechanical is there 24/7. To find out more, the website is fourseasonsmechanical.com or give them a call at 219-756-7020. Four Seasons Mechanical, your indoor air quality specialist.
At the conclusion of tonight's game, we'll name the Boilermakers Local 374 Blue Collar Player of the Game, brought to you by Boilermakers Local 374. Earn while you learn with Boilermakers Local 374. Forstick, Brower, and Friesma, the batters for Lake Central, 4, 5, and 6 in the lineup, facing Hacker on the mound. Hacker has been able to pitch out of a couple of jams we saw in the second inning. Had runners stranded at the corners, and he's in for a third inning of work, trying to keep the score where it is. 3 runs to 0 runs. Lake Central ahead as we begin the third inning.
And leading off for the Lake Central Indians,
it was a 3-run first inning for Lake Central as they were able to produce with runners on. A fly out to left field was able to bring both runs across the plate, and then another run scored a little bit after that, but now the first pitch is inside. The count goes 1-0. Forstick, who had an RBI double in his first at-bat. He's ahead in this count 2-0 and now trying to set the tone in the third inning. Takes a strike at the corner, talking about how it can be a challenge sometimes for even the best of hitters to lead off a ball game. Well, a lot of players, sometimes it's a different approach when you lead off an inning. We'll see what Forstick can do here. The count is worked even, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Hacker sends a fastball a little low in the zone. Forstick didn't attempt a swing. So now 2-2. High heat from Hacker. Forstick couldn't climb the ladder with it. It's a swinging strikeout to start the inning. Now the batter will be Brower. That was good velocity from Hacker as it was elevating in the zone. Forstick tried to go up with it as he was swinging at anything close with 2 strikes. Couldn't get to that one. Hacker opens the count with a fastball at the corner, and he's trying to keep working now with the count 1-1 to Brower, who walked in the first inning. But for Hacker, we've seen he's got some good velocity on that fastball, and when he's able to locate it at the corners or even rising on that last pitch, that's a tough one to catch up to, especially with a lot of lefties in this lineup. You can throw that fastball high and away. It's a tempting pitch, but it's hard to catch up with that timing and the good life on that fastball as Hacker works a swinging strike to make it a 2-2 count. Now the breakthrough pitch. Foul curling towards the Lake Central bullpen, where it will land just in front, or at the end of the bullpen actually, and the count stays 2-2. But Brower staying alive in that at bat. He had to reach to the outer third just to get the end of the bat on that one and keep the battle going between him and Hacker. Here comes the 2-2. Brower will rope it towards right field. It will roll to Cole. It's a 1-out single for Brower. He's on base for the second time today. Good work by Brower in that at-bat. You foul away a two-strike pitch, then you get something you like better, and he was able to drive it towards right. He's aboard, and now Connor Friesma will bat. Friesma works with a runner at first. He's going with a pitch. The throw down to second base. Sliding in safely is Brower as that one squeaks out of the glove, but it was a fastball from Hacker, a quick throw by Braden towards second base. The count 0-1 to Friesma. Stepping out to a lead at second is Brower. An off-speed delivery curls in for a strike two to the left-handed batting Friesma. He had that sac fly to left field that drove in a run in his first at-bat against Hacker. But he's behind with the count 0-2. Check swing didn't go enough as the fastball was outside, makes it a 1-2 count. Brower, the runner at second base, with just one out in the inning. He's in scoring position. Friesma added his 10th RBI of the season in the first inning. Could try to make it 11 with a good swing here. 1-2, and time called as Hacker was just about to go towards the plate. It's interesting seeing the different timing from each starting pitcher. Passo seems almost as soon as the ball is back in his glove, he's starting the windup for his next pitch. Hacker, a little more time between deliveries as Friesma with the foul tip to the glove for strike three. That's the second out of the inning. But back to Hacker with maybe a little more time between his pitches than Passo. That could, for a tall righty that throws a high velocity, that gives you maybe a little more time to recover, to recharge a little bit, and then get a good throw to the plate. As the off-speed pitch to Thuftedal is low for a ball, but it's all about just different pitchers have different rhythms, and for the batters, you want to try to get the timing figured out by your second time through the lineup. Hacker kicks and goes to the plate. Gets a strike in to make it a 1-1 count. So a ball and a strike to Thuftedal, who struck out in his first meeting against Hacker. Now the 1-1. And a throw down to second base, but getting back in time is Brower. The count goes 2-1. Brower had to stay sharp, get back to second, avoid that throw. Now the 2-1 pitch. It's a ball. We go 3-1, and for Thuftedal with 2 outs in the inning, could work his way on base with a walk here. He's ahead in the count. Here we go for the 3-1 delivery. That is just high for ball 4. It's a 2-out walk. Keeps things going for Lake Central. Now we will see J.T. Rosansky.
Designated hitter, number 10, J.T. Rosansky.
Rosansky bats with runners at first and second. Thuftedal at first. Brower at second. There are 2 outs. Both of those were strikeouts, by the way, from Hacker. Hacker with 4 strikeouts in the ball game. His first pitch to Rosansky finds the corner. Makes it an 0-1 count. Rosansky flew out to Young in center field in his first trip up to the plate. Now he bats with a couple friends on base, but 2 outs. Breaking ball just high, evens the count at a ball and a strike. 2 down in the inning, nobody has scored. Hacker trying to leave these runners stranded. The 1-1 pitch. The fastball breaks away from the corner. We go 2-1. But for Lake Central, they left 1 stranded in the first inning, 2 in the second, trying to avoid having that become a similar spot here in the third. Now the 2-1. Rosansky elevates it, foul, playable on the first base side. The catcher, Braden, gets under it, but it rolls out of his glove. Braden was under it, but still moving, so it was almost reaching back as it just squeaks out of his glove. It's a strike, makes it a 2-2 count, but that's probably one for Portage you want back, and you hope it doesn't come back now to hurt them, with Rosansky getting a second chance. Hacker brings it to the plate. The 2-2. Line towards right field. It drops in front of Cole. Turning the corner, going to the plate is Brower. He crosses. It's an RBI single for JT Rosansky. So Rosansky was able to drive that one to right. It one-hops its way to Cole, allowing Brower to score from second base. Makes it a 4-0 lead for Lake Central. Rosansky picks up his 4th RBI of the season as Victor Villegas bats with 2 on, 2 out. And for Hacker, you're just trying to cook up a way out of this inning after one has crossed already, trying to leave it at that. With your team trailing by 4, and for Lake Central, with a runner, 2 runners on, 1 in scoring position, you want to keep applying the pressure here. 1-0. Hacker misses upstairs for a ball. We go 2-0. Villegas caught looking in his first at-bat against Hacker. That was in the second inning. 2-0. Lifted towards center field. Young won't have to move much for that one, is able to step under it and make the catch for out number 3. But Lake Central adds another. 3 innings are in the books here. It's LC 4, Portage nothing. You're watching Baseball Night on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
I'm Crowd Company's Lantern Man. If you're a contractor, it's my job to make your insurance coverage simple and affordable. Because I know time is money, I'll come to your business. Certificates and bonds are a snap. Wherever you are, whatever business you're in, we've got you covered. As Crowd Company's Lantern Man, I'm your insurance superhero.
Crowd Company's insurance professionals. Highland, Merrillville, and Michigan City.
Start of the 4th inning, and it will be the 3, 4, and 5 hitters up for Portage as they are trailing by 4 runs. It'll be Cole, Young, and Hacker. And for Portage, after allowing one more run in the 3rd inning, these are the guys you want up to try to bounce back and get a run on the board against a tough pitcher in Mark Passo, who has been in a good groove as of late. Just 1 hit and 1 walk, 2 base runners in total. As that breaking ball misses outside. But he gets back with a good strike. Evening the count, or making it a 2-1 count. Passo goes to Cole, pokes it towards first base, and a diving catch made by Thuftedal for out number 1. What a play by the corner infielder, Thuftedal, as he was able to dive over to his right. The lefty was able to scoop it up and prevent that one from hitting the turf. Well done by Thuftedal, as that could have been traveling towards right field if he hadn't gotten in the way. Keeps a base runner off the paths, and that's a good first out to get. So Cody Young now bats with 1 out and nobody on. Young fouls that back towards the screen. We go 1-1. Young flew out to center field to end the first inning. The 1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike two. Young on that rising fastball on the inner third, couldn't get to it. So he's behind, a ball and 2 strikes. Good movement on the breaking ball, but it was high. We go even at 2-2. A very good play by Thuftedal at first base. Starts the inning as now reaching for that one was Young, just able to battle it backward. Keeps the count even at 2 apiece. That was huge for Lake Central after you score 1 run in the last half inning and then you get a big defensive play to continue taking momentum away from Portage. Here's the 2-2. Outside, we go full at 3-2, and now Young has battled his way back into this at-bat. He's worked it full. Now Paso winds up for the payoff pitch. Young waves over it. It squeaks past the catcher Walls. His recovery down to first base will beat Young there. So it's a strikeout, but a little more of a laborious strikeout for the catcher Walls, who had to then recover the drop third strike and throw it along the first base line to beat Young, who's trying to earn a trip aboard. First pitch to Hacker called a strike. We had that last week or the week before in the Lake Central Crown Point softball game, that 2-1 thriller in extra innings, where we had a 4-strikeout first inning due to a drop third that allowed a runner to reach base. That's something you don't see very often, but it was, I believe it was Lazert, the pitcher for Crown Point, struck out 4 batters in the first inning due to a drop third where a batter reached. So the count 1-2 to Hacker with 2 outs and nobody on base. Paso sends that one just low. Many of the Lake Central defensive players thought that was strike 3, started their trip back to the dugout, but it evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. This one will count as Hacker can't get to that off-speed delivery for strike 3. It's a 1-2-3 inning. A good defensive play and 2 strikeouts are how you can score it. We are through 3.5. It's Lake Central leading 4-0 over Portage. You're watching Baseball Night in the Region on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Earn while you learn from the best hands in the business. The Bricklayers Allied Craftworkers for Indiana Kentucky Apprenticeship. That's right, this is a paid apprenticeship.
I'm getting an education while learning a trade and getting paid for it.
The thing that surprised me the most about this apprenticeship program is the respect I have received after the proper time and training.
Classes start soon, so apply now. There are training centers throughout Indiana and Kentucky. We are the Bricklayers and Allied Craftworkers for Indiana Kentucky Apprenticeship. The best hands in the business.
At American Testing Services, based in Hobart, Indiana, we specialize in NDT drone inspections and heat treatment services for local mills, fab shops, and facilities across the country. From Northwest Indiana to nationwide, we deliver precision, safety, and reliability. American Testing Services, America's trusted name in NDT.
Stay with us after the game, and we'll name the proud-to-be Union play of the game presented by Ironworkers Local 395. Ironworkers Local 395. To find out how you can become a Union Ironworker, visit ironworkers395.com. We had an early contender in the top half of this inning, that diving play made by Tyler Thuftedal at first base. But still plenty of baseball to go as the top of the order gets ready to bat for Lake Central. Their third time up. It'll be O'Brien, Robinson, and Walls, the 1-2-3 hitters, batting for Lake Central against Hacker, who kicks and goes towards the plate. O'Brien tries to get the bunt, but it slices foul. He was under that one. That's always a tough one to get to when you're under it. And that one carries to the third base side as we'll take a look at some scores on the Scoreboard update, courtesy of your neighborhood Strachan Van Til Food Market, Strachan Van Til, your favorite Indiana-made grocery store. That one hits O'Brien, so he's aboard. But the other game we have going on the Region Sports Network in baseball action, Chesterton and Crown Point scoreless in the bottom of the third inning. That's a big one with a lot of Duneland Athletic Conference standings implications. Part of that is thanks to Portage, handed Crown Point their first Duneland loss of the season last week as Robinson fouls away the first pitch to begin the count 0-1. Portage and Chesterton Crown Point and Chesterton scoreless in the third inning. We're at Lake Central where LC leads over Portage 4-0. In the bottom of the fourth inning, Parker Robinson bats. He's reached base twice today on a walk and a fielder's choice. The 0-1 inside. We go 1-1. Robinson works with a teammate aboard. That's O'Brien at first base. He was hit by a pitch. There's nobody out in the inning. Now the 1-1. O'Brien's running with the pitch. Robinson lofts it towards right field where the catch is made by Cole. And O'Brien will have to make the trip back to first base after the fly out by Robinson. So unable to quite get the hit and run going as Robinson got it just above the hands, not where he wanted that one on the bat, and flared it towards right field where Cole made a good trip over. And here's Hacker. O'Brien's running again, fouled away by Walls. With a right-hander up in the bullpen, we still see Hacker on the mound. The 0-1, throw over actually to first base, but with now Hacker facing the top of the lineup for the third time today, you wonder how much longer he might have to go here. With 4 runs, having scored on 5 hits, his 0-1 pitch is low, and it's hard to put this one on Hacker as he's pitched very well. There's just been a few plays Lake Central has capitalized on, but Hacker trying to keep his team in it. Down by 4 with a runner at first and 1 out. O'Brien's running. It's outside. The throw down to second base will not get there in time. It skips its way to Hodges, so O'Brien picks up his second stolen base of the ball game. And the count 2-1 now to Walls. Walls singled and scored in the first inning. The left-handed batter waits for the 2-1 pitch from Hacker. A backdoor breaking ball is called strike 2, so good movement on that one from Hacker to the lefty to start it outside and then just loop in for a strike. Evens the count up at 2. Walls at the plate, trying to help his team out with a runner now in scoring position. That's O'Brien over at second. The 2-2 from Hacker. Walls grounds it back to the pitcher. It caroms off his glove over to second base. Purowski is able to track it down, but at that point it allows Walls to reach. And now Lake Central is threatening with runners at the corners and just 1 out. And so Hacker had that one lined right back at him, stuck the glove out. It just ricochets off his glove, goes towards second base. Porowski was able to get to it on a good beat, but at that point, well, Walls had already reached first, and then O'Brien scoots from second to third. And then Forstek slices it to left field. The catch made by Ruiz. Throws it to Hodges, and there will be no relay throw as sliding in to score is O'Brien. So another sacrifice fly scores a run, makes it a 5-run lead for Lake Central. For Forstek, that's his second RBI of the game. An RBI double in the first, and then a fly out in the fourth, and the first pitch to Brower is inside, and it gets a piece of him. The second hit batter of the inning keeps the inning going now. Runners at first and second.
Now batting third baseman number 13, Connor Friesma.
So Friesma bats with 2 outs and 2 on. Friesma struck out in his last meeting with Hacker, and he'll look to continue adding to the offense for Lake Central as they have scored 1 run in the inning, but have a potential to add to it with runners at first and second. There are 2 outs. Hacker's 1-0 delivery. Fastball finds the corner. We go 1-1. Friesma added an RBI and a fly out, a sacrifice fly in the first inning. And so 2 sac flies have resulted in runs scored for Lake Central. Let's talk about timely hitting. It doesn't always have to be that big, heroic swing to the fence. If you can just... As this one's grounded towards third base, gets away from Bogue, rolls into left field. Rounding the corner, going to the plate is Wells. He crosses. Ending up at second base is Friesma. And it's another run in to score for Lake Central. They lead 6-0. So Walls was able to get a good start, scores from second base. Brower goes from first to third. And Friesma is aboard at second base. It was a tough one for Bogue to handle as it was deep along the third base line. He was down to one knee, was trying to dig it up, and it just gets away from him, rolls into, there's a lot of room in foul territory, and it gets over there. Now Tyler Thuftedall bats with 2 outs, 2 on. 2 have scored this inning, and he's ahead in the count 2-0. And now with Hacker throwing, there's that right-hander in the bullpen. His timeline might be accelerated a bit here. The 2-0 pitch, called strike 1. To Thuftedall, who struck out in the first inning, walked in the third. It's a 6-0 lead for Lake Central. Thuftedall waves over an off-speed breaking ball that really just dropped. It's tough for the left-handed hitter to get to. Now the count knotted up at 2-2. The 2-2 pitch is low and away. We go full at 3-2. But Thuftedall with the count full, trying to see what he can do here. If he could extend the inning, first base is open. Hacker gets ready for the payoff pitch. 3-2. Taken high towards left field. Hodges and Ruiz both going for it, and it's Ruiz, the left fielder, who will call him off and makes the catch for out number 3, ending an inning in which Lake Central sends 2 more across the plate. We're through 4. It's Lake Central 6, Portage 0. You're watching Baseball Night on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
IBEW Local 697 isn't just wiring buildings. We're woven into the very fabric of Northwest Indiana. We're your neighbors. Our kids go to school with yours. We stand in the same bleachers cheering for the same high school teams. When you hire a union electrician, you're not just getting the highest quality work. You're supporting our community. IBEW Local 697, proudly powering our own.
Sometimes the hardest part of improving your business isn't coming up with a great idea. It's knowing what to do with it. Chester Inc. Architectural and Construction Services is ready to meet all your industrial and commercial construction needs. Whether it's a small build-out or a complete construction project, Chester will design, build, and finance. Our team eliminates multiple contractors, providing you a single point of contact while staying within your budget. Chester Inc. Architectural and Construction Services, turning your ideas into realities.
Top of the 5th at Lake Central, where the home team leads over Portage 6-0. They were able to put another crooked number on the board in the bottom of the last half inning. And for Lake Central, they've been able to capitalize on some timely hitting. It hasn't been a gigantic swing that leaves the yard. It's been a couple sacrifice flies. capitalizing on 2 hit batters in that inning that then, with runners on, you're able to make Portage pay by bringing them home. It's been a good team effort 1 through 9, each batter picking up after the last and bringing runs across the plate. The first pitch to Ryan Bogue is outside for a ball. Now the windup and the delivery from Paso brings the heat, gets him to chase it for strike 1. Ball and a strike in the count to the leadoff batter, Bogue. Bogue followed by Porowski and Ramian. Count now 2-1. Or 1-2 as Bogue swung after that one. The 1-2 grounded towards Robinson at short. He gets to it and throws over to first base in time to retire Bogue. So another ground out. And looking at how Paso's been doing it, he has 4 strikeouts, 2 flyouts, 1 lineout. The rest has been put on the ground, and when you have some smooth fielding infielders, that helps out. Pitching for contact, getting batters to swing on top of pitches, and then let your friends behind you take care of the rest. He gets Porowski to swing over that slider. The 0-1, fouled, got a piece of the catcher, and now it's 0-2. But I've really liked the pace at which Paso has pitched. He works quickly and isn't afraid to pitch to contact. That's fouled off the front foot of Porowski, but that willingness to pitch to contact, that's sometimes tough for pitchers to deal with because you run that risk. If somebody gets a hold of one, that could be trouble, but if you're able to locate your pitches and get maybe not the best swings on them, that could help and go a long way. And it's tough to try to get every batter to strike out. So if you can get help from your defense, that keeps you in games later. And Paso, a good example of that, is he's ahead in the count 0-2. His windup. Check swing on the 0-2. Did he go? The appeal to first base, they will say he did not. So it is a 1-2 count to Porowski, who is 0 for 1 on the day. The 1-2, poked away foul. We stay 1-2. But a good rhythm for Paso, who has not allowed a base runner since the 3rd inning. 1-2 fouled away, but trying to keep things rolling with 1 out. Nobody on base. And his team leading 6-0 in the top of the 5th inning. Paso delivers the 1-2 off speed, and the bottom falls out on it. Porowski swings over it for strike 3. It's the 5th punch out of the game for Paso, and now there are 2 outs with the batter. Matt Romaine batting for Portage. Romaine, the last hope for Portage in the 5th inning. With 2 away, he chops it towards Robinson at shortstop. He scoops it up, throws on the run. That'll do it. 3 up, 3 down, 2 groundouts to short, and a strikeout. We are through 4.5. Lake Central leads over Portage 6-0. You're watching Baseball Night on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
With electrical services from Economy Electric Heating and Cooling, you can radiate the perfect amount of light and energy into your home. From rewiring and code upgrades to ceiling fans, lighting, security, and more, Economy Electric Heating and Cooling's trained electricians will make sure you can enjoy your home on full power all the time. For a free estimate on electrical work, call Economy Electric Heating and Cooling at 219-923-4441, and you can visit them on the web at 4ajobdoneright.com. That's the number 4, ajobdoneright.com.
You ready? Let's go. Yeah. For those of you that want to know what we're all about, it's like this, y'all. This is 10% luck, 20% skill, 15% concentrated power of will, 5% pleasure, 50% pain, 100% reason to remember the name.
Your future starts
here.
we begin the last of the fifth inning, and we will have a new pitcher for Portage, so it's time to introduce the Enigenberg Exteriors Home Improvement Hurler, presented by Enigenberg Exteriors. It will be Bryston Mazur in to pitch for Portage. We will get you the numbers on the senior right-hander, Mazur, as he will be in. It looks as if the first appearance for Mazur, so trying to see what that right-hander is working with. First appearance as a pitcher. He has appeared in 2 games as a batter, so now he works on the mound against Lake Central. It'll be Rosansky, Villegas, and O'Brien due up here in the bottom of the 5th inning. So that's the report on the Enigenberg Exteriors Home Improvement Hurlers. Enigenberg Exteriors, a premier provider of roofing and siding services with over 40 years of experience. Check them out on the web at ebergexteriors.com. Also go through the day that was for Hacker as Mazur pitches. It'll be GT Rosansky batting for Hacker. 4 innings of work, 6 hits with 6 runs, 3 walks, 4 strikeouts, and 2 hit batters. It wasn't necessarily a day where those hits were extra base hits and really haunted Hacker, but it was more so just how Lake Central was able to bat with runners on base, able to capitalize on a couple of defensive misplays, and scratch runs across the board with 2 outs in innings and force Hacker to have to work deeper than maybe he wanted to in these at-bats. The 0-1 for Mazur is outside, so we go 1-1. A ball and a strike to Rosansky, who had an RBI single in the 3rd inning. The 1-1. Off speed, he pulled the string on it. Rosansky swings ahead of it for strike 2. Rosansky was the batter on that RBI single, and remember that the foul ball that Portage couldn't quite get to, and then the next pitch he singles, drives in a run. And the 1-2 outside, and that's been where Lake Central's made some veteran plays like that, where you get gifted maybe another chance and you don't make a mistake with it. And that's how they've been able to score 6 runs on 6 hits over the first 4 innings. The 2-2. It's low and away. We go full at 3-2. Been able to chase Hacker out of the game after 4 innings, the ace of the Portage staff. That's certainly something Lake Central offensively you can be proud of. You face the other team's top guy, and he left the game. Now the 3-2 pitch, elevated foul along the first base line where Wallace will step over, makes the catch. That's the first out from Rosansky, and now the batter, Victor Villegas. Villegas 0 for 2 today with a strikeout and a flyout. He bats with nobody on base and 1 out. Trying to get a read on the new pitcher, Mazur, and if you can, add to the score. Lake Central leads 6-0. It's a first pitch strike to Villegas. And for Portage now is in the late stages of the 5th inning. You have to start to have a sense of urgency here. The 0-1. Foul off the end of the bat. We go 0-2, but down to 6 outs remaining. They'll have to try to crank up a comeback here. Chasing 6 runs, that's a tough number to erase in just 1 inning. So you have to think the next half inning, they certainly have to put at least 1, maybe 2 runs on the board. The 0-2. Foul tip to the glove of Braden for strike 3. So Mazur has worked 2 quick outs. Actually, I said on the fly out to first base that it was Wallace who made the catch. That's Caleb Hacker now playing first base, so he stays in the game. We will still see him in the batting order. And now Keegan O'Brien bats, top of the order back up for Lake Central. O'Brien watches the first one go low for a ball. It's been a good day at the office for O'Brien. He's reached base twice, stolen 2 bases, and scored 1 run. A single and a hit by pitch. He's ahead in this count, 1-0. Mazur's delivery. O'Brien fouls it, and it skips back up and gets a piece of him. Evens the count at 1-1. We'll see what O'Brien can do here, swinging against a new pitcher with his team leading by 6. We've seen a couple 2-out rallies. Does Lake Central have another one in them here? The 1-1 from Mazur. Breaking ball inside. We go 2-0. 2-1. 2-1. There was that strike on that foul ball to O'Brien. So O'Brien working against Mazur. The right-hander kicks and fires the 2-1. Called strike 2 at the outer third. So 2s across the board, 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. O'Brien seeing if he could extend the inning, while Mazur trying to retire O'Brien and get his team's bats up. Now the 2-2. Foul off the end of the bat. O'Brien was just able to get the hands low, got a piece of that one, played it backward. So he stays alive in the at-bat. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. There's only been 1 scoreless inning today for Lake Central. That was in the second. Now the 2-2. That's high for a ball. We go 3-2. But a big statement offensively for the Indians, being able to manufacture some runs, leading over a Portage team that's 5-3 in Duneland play. Lake Central 4-4 against the conference. Now the payoff pitch. O'Brien just gets a piece of it, fouling it away. That was tailing inside. He taps it foul, so the count stays where it is at 3-2. But with Chesterton and Crown Point meeting today, that could be a big one for the Duneland. And this is another intriguing matchup between 2 of those teams at the next level just behind them. That could be very tough teams to face later this month in the postseason play. Now the 3-2. O'Brien drives it towards center field. It will land for another single. O'Brien reaches base for the 3rd time in this ball game. A 2-out single from O'Brien keeps the inning going, brings Parker Robinson up to bat.
Parker Robinson.
That's what you like to see from O'Brien, just being able to battle. Goes late into that at-bat, 8 pitches, and ends it with a single. Mazur throws over to first. O'Brien slides head first in time. Robinson reached with a walk and a fielder's choice and has flew out to right field in this game. The first pitch is high and away for a ball. But he bats with 2 outs and a runner on base. Here's the 1-0. O'Brien's running, and he will reach safely. 2 balls, no strikes. Robinson bats. See if Mazur can find a way to retire Robinson. With a runner in scoring position, the fastball is high and in. We go 3-0. So now Mazur in danger of walking Robinson. That would be another 2-out rally for Lake Central. Here comes the 3-0. That's low for ball 4. So you can move. Well, O'Brien stays at second. Robinson, he's on base for the 3rd time in this game. And now there are 2 on with 2 outs. 2 aboard for Lake Central. They have taken some very disciplined at-bats with 2 outs in innings. Just being able to make it that much more difficult for Hacker or Mazur, the pitchers for Portage. There haven't been very many quick innings for Lake Central. We saw in the 2nd inning that was The only inning they didn't score, and even then they applied some pressure with 2 runners on base in that frame. Runners at first and third. The count starts 1-0 to Walls. Now Mazer kicks. Nope, time is called. Was that a balk? There's a balk that moves both runners up 90 feet. So that gets O'Brien from second to third and Robinson from first to second. So we've seen a little bit of everything in this game, and now Lake Central threatening again with 2 outs and 2 in scoring position. The 1-0 from Mazer. Inside to Walls, we go 2-0. Two balls, no strikes to Braden Walls. He is 2 for 3 today with 2 singles and 2 runs scored. The Ball State commit waits for the 2-0 pitch. Mazer brings it to the plate. And it's a strike at the outer third. 2 balls and a strike, and there's that backdoor breaking ball. Walls didn't offer. So Mazer takes a peek at his catcher, Braden. Gets set. Goes to the plate for the 2-1. It's inside. Now the count 3-1. So with 2 outs, Mazer in danger of a walk that would load the bases. With Jacob Forstek on deck, who has driven in 2 runs in this game. Here's the 3-1. It's outside, ball 4. Walls is aboard. And so we've been talking about it a lot, just the plate approach from Lake Central with 2 outs. You don't see anybody getting, for lack of a better term, aggressive or undisciplined, trying to be the hero, trying to take a maybe an ill-advised swing out of the zone. They have been patient. They have been forcing Portage to have to throw strikes, and at times they haven't been with 2 outs. So we've seen a couple 2-out walks or a 2-out single have just been able to keep the line moving and keep Portage from getting their bats back up and forcing them to have to work. And now the bases are full with 2 outs in the bottom of the 5th inning and a 6-run lead for Lake Central. The batter Jacob Forstek playing left field today. He has 2 RBIs. The 1-0. High for a ball, and when you're facing a new pitcher who has not been able to quite throw strikes, you don't want to help him out here. And Forstek, with nowhere to put him, is ahead in the count 2-0. Mazer kicks, fires, 2-0, spins low for a ball. It's now a 3-0 count. So Forstek, who had an RBI double in the first inning, an RBI sacrifice fly in the 4th, could potentially add another RBI with a walk here. 3-0, outside for ball 4. That will bring in a run. O'Brien will score. He scores for the 2nd time in the game. Robinson goes from 2nd to 3rd. Walls from 1st to 2nd. Forstek is aboard with an RBI walk. Now, we see a meeting on the mound for Portage. If you were to tell Forstek at the start of the game, Brower will be the batter for Lake Central, but if you were to tell him you were going to get 3 RBIs in the game, that probably sounds pretty good, but for the most part, those are 3 RBIs in ways you won't always expect to get them. With the RBI double, you certainly, every hitter likes that. A sacrifice fly, all right, that doesn't hurt your average. And then an RBI walk, that's maybe not the big day that goes on the box score or on the game day graphic or in the paper, but you'll take it. It helps the team. He's been able to have good at-bats, and, well, maybe it's not the 3 RBI day you dream of. It's one that the coaches can be pleased of. That shows you were a team player and did your job with runners on base. And so for Forstek, he has earned 3 RBIs. Now the batter, Andrew Brower, with the bases loaded and 2 outs. There's a first pitch strike for Mazer. Brower has been on base 3 times today. Kind of a similar theme For Force Tech, a walk, a single, and a hit by pitch. He's helped the on-base percentage. The 0-1. He lines it towards first base, but Hacker climbs the ladder and makes the catch to end the inning. Portage will try to get the bats going. They trail 7-0 after 5. You're watching Baseball Night on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
And for Lake Central.
Meet Scott Miller, a lifelong Northwest Indiana resident. Scott has spent his career serving his community as a teacher, school leader, and superintendent of Hammond schools. Today, he serves as chief of staff for the city of Hammond, helping lead operations and guide decisions that impact local families every day. Known for tackling tough challenges and making responsible, honest decisions, Scott is ready to bring steady leadership to the Lake County Council. Scott Miller, responsible, experienced, ready.
At Blyce, we're used to having the athlete shop at our store.
Down, sit, put.
But sometimes they get carried away. Blyce, this is where the athlete shops.
Be sure to stay connected with all things Region Sports, as we are always active on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, X, and at our website at regionsports.com. Celebrating over 25 years, we are proud to still be the only game in town. Leo Staudaher with you as we start the top of the 6th inning. Mike Dewan, our producer today. Aaron Svetlin capturing all the action on camera. Our management team led by executive producer Chris Ramirez, Rich Castillo, Zach Miller, and Mike Dewan helping make things possible. Today it's the busy time of the year in the spring sports season. We've got a few games going on tonight, and in this one, it's Lake Central leading over Portage 7-0 as Hodges lines one down the third base line, rolling into left field. Hodges starts the inning with a single, and he really got a hold of that one. So the freshman drives one down the line, and he starts the inning, brings the top of the order, and Ruiz back up. And for Portage trailing 7, this is the way you have to start the 6th inning, down to 6 outs remaining. It starts with base runners. You don't have outs to waste, so when the leadoff man gets on, that helps things, and it brings the top of the order up. It'll be Ruiz followed by Braden, and Hodges worked quickly there against a pitcher now that he was seeing for the second time in Paso. Saw a pitch he liked and was just able to play it down the line. It stayed fair. Ruiz takes a strike at the corner, and for Paso, he had retired 7 batters in a row prior to that single, so it breaks up the groove he was in. The 0-1 dots the corner for a strike, and he's bounced right back in this at-bat. 0-2, worked it 2 fastballs to a similar spot. He's been favoring the outer third here. I wonder if maybe he goes inside with the 0-2 count. Instead, he goes right back to the corner to catch the batter looking for strike 3. Nicely done by Paso. 3 pitches, 3 strikes. He's been outstanding tonight. With 6 strikeouts, he throws over to first base. Brody Braden is the batter. Braden walked in the first at-bat. But what a day for Paso, and obviously the 6 strikeouts, but pitching for contact too, and just the pace at which he's worked. That can sometimes throw batters off when... and we've seen a few throws over to runners on base, but it seems like as soon as the ball is back in his glove, he's starting that windup, going right back to the plate. That doesn't give the hitter much time to adjust, to try to guess where that pitch is going. You have to stay ready to face the quick throwing right-hander in Mark Paso. I count 2 balls, no strikes. Fouled away. So we go 2-1. 2-1 to Braden. Passo takes a long set, kicks, goes to the plate. Braden elevates it right side of the diamond, and the second baseman, Villegas, travels over to make the catch in shallow right field for the second out. So now 2 down, 1 on. The batter is Hunter Cole, as the lights starting to take effect on a cloudy day in St. John, but Villegas able to battle in those conditions and made the catch, as that could be tough when you have to travel over. Calling off the right fielder, he was able to handle it. The batter is Hunter Cole, who is 0 for 2 today. Was on the unfortunate end of a highlight reel play, a line out to first base, where a good catch was made by Thuftedal. He's ahead in the count, a ball and no strikes. And getting back in time was Hodges, who started the inning with a single, but Passo's really settled in after that leadoff single, working 2 outs. Throws over to first again. A strikeout looking to Ruiz, and then a fly out to Braden. We've seen he just hasn't been fazed by runners on base, as a good swing from Cole sends it on a ride to center field, but O'Brien is there to make the catch to end the top of the 6th inning. The leadoff single, followed by 3 quick outs. We will head to the bottom of the 6th inning. Lake Central leads by 7. You're watching Baseball Night on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Located in the heart of downtown Indianapolis, the newly renovated Hampton Inn is within walking distance to over 30 restaurants and attractions, including Lucas Oilfield and Gamebridge Fieldhouse. Hampton Inn has much to offer, including a hot breakfast, high-speed internet access in every room, as well as a fitness center. Why wait? Make your reservations today. Call 317-261-1200 or make them on the web at hamptonin3.hilton.com. Hampton Inn, Indianapolis, downtown.
Some see a wrestling match. We see a 6-minute lesson in grit. Some see a coach sending a runner home. We see a mentor guiding a student athlete into the future. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
Mazer stays in for the 6th inning in what could be the final at-bats for Lake Central, as they'll look to try to potentially keep things going. And you start to think, too, if they could score 3 runs in this inning, that would end the game, or if they could get out of this inning, get their pitcher Passo right back up. He's been outstanding so far. Lake Central has been doing their job so far, and when you look, it's been just about every batter in the lineup who has produced. 8 batters have reached base in the game, and there's been timely hitting, good swings with runners on base, taking advantage of walks, a couple hit batters. It's a team effort today for Lake Central, with just a very well-played game, as we took a look at the Strachan Van Til scoreboard update, courtesy of your neighborhood Strachan Van Til Food Market. Shop online for delivery or curbside pickup at Strachan Van Til. In our other game on the Region Sports Network, in the bottom of the 5th inning, Crown Point's threatening with 2 runners on base but 2 outs in a scoreless pitcher's duel between Chesterton and Crown Point. The first pitch to Friesma skips inside for a ball. Good movement for Mazer, but not able to locate it where he wanted it. Friesma, sacrifice fly in the 1st inning, strikeout in the 3rd, and reached on an error in the 4th. So he's been aboard once today, but has driven in a couple of runs. He's ahead in the count 1-0. A long set for Mazer. He kicks, goes to the plate. Friesma above it, evens the count at 1-1. So Mazer gets set, takes a look at his catcher, Braden. Friesma waits for the pitch, and is just outside. 2-1 will go. Was looking for that backdoor breaking ball, and it's been a good idea against a Lake Central lineup that features a lot of lefties, but you also run that risk. If it's close at the outer third, it could be called a ball. Friesma chops it foul down the first base line. We are even now at 2-2. Friesma, one of several multi-sport athletes involved in this game, was part of Lake Central's hockey team. So we've seen some football players, some boxers, and a hockey player in this game. But always good to see you guys pick up a spring sport, too, as the 2-2 from Mazer. Friesma loops it towards left field. It will land between Young and Ruiz. Friesma's going for two. He slides in headfirst, safe. That's a leadoff double for Friesma. He got a good swing on that one, played it towards the gap, and with good speed, he was able to turn it into an extra base hit. He's in scoring position for Tyler Thuftedal. Back to that thought about spring sports season. This is one of those days, a very active day at Lake Central, with a home baseball game, a home softball game, and a track meet going on. It's one of the fun times of the year, spring sports season, as the count starts with a strike to Thuftedal, when it seems like everybody's involved with some kind of activity, when the parking lot's full, there are home events, the weather's starting to get nicer, and it's a fun time when you get through winter and you see the busy days of spring sports season, and Thuftedal fouls it back to the catcher. Certainly many faculty members and parents making all these events possible by handling all of the duties at the home games, but for the student athletes, that's a good time of the year at the end of the school year, when for seniors, one last chance to wear your school's uniform and try to extend that as long as you can. Fouled away by Thuftedal. No balls and 2 strikes, nobody out, and a runner at second base. Mazer gets set, takes a look at second. Now he goes to the plate for the 0-2. It's outside. We go 1-2. When we get to the next batter, it looks like we will have a new batter. We'll get to that when we get there, with the count 1-2 to Thuftedal. He made one of the better defensive plays of this game a couple innings ago. The 1-2 spins high on that line out by Cole, went right to first base, and Thuftedal made that diving play to make the catch. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, nobody out. A runner at second. Now we go 2-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. That's out number 1. Thuftedal tried to get to that one. It was high, but he was just under it for strike 3. The new batter will be Anthony Sanchez. The senior steps in with a runner at second base and 1 out. So Sanchez bats in the bottom of the 6th inning. Bats in place of the designated hitter, JT Rosansky. So we'll see what Sanchez can do here. And that pinch hit opportunity is you're trying to make sure you stay active, stay focused, and trying to produce after you've been on the bench all game and make the most out of that opportunity. There's been so many instances where if you can produce in a pinch hit role and a role later in the game where maybe that moves you up in the lineup, gets you into the starting lineup more regularly, and could lead to more opportunities. Running with the pitch is Friesma. He slides in to third base, uncontested, no throw from the catcher. So he's 90 feet away from scoring. The pitch was called a strike, so we go 0-1. 0-1 the count. Mazer on the mound takes a look at his catcher, Braden. Looks over at the runner at third base. The 0-1 lifted towards right field. Cole will make the catch, throws towards the plate. Friesma will not tag. He stays put. That's out number 2. So now 2 away, a runner at third, and Victor Villegas will bat. Villegas bats for Lake Central with 2 down and 1 on. Villegas, another senior, playing second base today. Steps in for his 4th at-bat of the game. Mazer kicks, goes to the plate, sends a fastball low, makes it a 1-0 count. These two teams, they'll meet again tomorrow. Different venue, they'll be at Portage to wrap up the Duneland series. The 1-0 from Mazer. Big swing from Villegas, but it's a strike. Taking a look ahead for Lake Central. They'll be at Portage tomorrow. Following the Portage series, facing a couple non-con games in Morgan Township and Warsaw. They'll be back at it next week in a Duneland matchup with Crown Point. The 1-1 is high and in. We go 2-1. And for Portage, they'll be at Lowell later this week, then facing Highland at home, and they'll be facing another tough Duneland team in Chesterton next week. So it doesn't get any easier for either of these teams in a year where there are some real tough teams in the Duneland. The 2-1. Outside we go 3-1. But it's tough to win conference games, and we've seen both of these teams have already faced some tough matchups. Portage split with Crown Point last week. We've seen Lake Central faced Valpo, and now they're trying to pick up some Duneland wins against Portage. The 3-1, foul along the third base line, could be playable for Ruiz. He makes the catch right at the line, or no, it falls out of his glove along the line. The ball rolled away from him, and he lost his hat in the process too, so it's a long foul ball. The count goes 3-2. So full count to Villegas as he is trying to get the top of the order back up with 2 outs and a runner at third. But Villegas looking to lock in here with the count full at 3-2. Mazer gets set. And his pitch. It's inside. It's a walk to Villegas. Keeps the inning going. And for Lake Central, they're trying to make it 2 wins in a row. They had a big 3-2 win in dramatic fashion on Saturday against Lincoln Way Central from Illinois. They lost a close game to Munster the day before, so if you could string together a couple of good games, a win on Friday and then a win today, that could get you trending in the right direction. It was Wells who had a bases-loaded walk to get the go-ahead run in that Lincoln Way Central game. As the pitch gets away from the catcher, Braden sliding headfirst and charging towards the plate is Friesma. He will score, makes it an 8-run lead for Lake Central. So Friesma takes advantage of the one that gets away and scores. Also moving over to second is Villegas. It's been that kind of day for Lake Central, capitalizing on the little things to score runs. Now the batter, Keegan O'Brien, with the count 1-0. But in a season for Lake Central where a lot of juniors playing and trying to maybe get some of those big power numbers up, when you can manufacture runs like we've seen, that can go a long way. Just 1 home run on the year for Lake Central, but it's been a lot of good situational hitting, scoring at the right time, and playing as a team to score runs today. They've scored 8 runs, with just 2 extra base hits, 2 doubles in the game to speak of, but when they're at the right time, it matters. count 3-0 to O'Brien. O'Brien's been on base 3 times today. It'll be a strike at the corner. A single, a hit by pitch, and a single has been the story for O'Brien. He flew out in the first inning, but 2 runs scored as well. Now Mazer gets ready for the 3-1 offering. It's called strike 2. Strike 2 at the outer third. So the count goes full at 3-2. So now O'Brien will have to get defensive. There's a runner at second base, 2 outs. 1 run has scored this inning. And here comes the 3-2. It's inside and it escapes the catcher. Villegas gets to third base. As O'Brien walks, he will reach base for the 4th time today. Villegas ends up at third. And now the shortstop, Parker Robinson, will bat. Robinson will step up with runners at the corners and 2 outs. With just 1 run having scored this inning. And it was 3 runs in the first for Lake Central, 1 in the third, 2 in the fourth, 1 in the fifth, and now 1 in the 6th inning. Mazer sends his first pitch to Robinson. Running with the pitch is O'Brien. He slides into second. No throw over as with the runner at third. They didn't want to risk it. So for O'Brien, that's his 3rd stolen base of the ball game. A foul ball by Robinson. Evens the count up at 1-1. For O'Brien, 3 stolen bases today. He now has 7 on the season. Mazer gets set, holds the glove at the belt, kicks, brings the 1-1 to the plate. Breaking ball spins to the corner for strike 2. 1-2 the count to Robinson, who's been productive. 2 walks and a fielder's choice today have helped him reach base 3 times. He scored a run. A ball and 2 strikes, though, in this count. Here's the 1-2. Robinson tips it into the glove of Braden. That will end the inning. Lake Central adds 1 more. We head to the 7th inning. 3 outs to go for Paso and company. Stick around here watching Baseball Night on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Get Pulse technology on your team. Hit a home run with our managed print and copier services, IT and technology solutions, office furniture and design services, office supplies, scoreboards, and AV solutions.
Have you heard? Strachan-Manteau was voted Best of the Region 2025 in several categories, including Best Caterer, Deli, Flower Shop, Food and Grocery Delivery, Fried Chicken, Place to Buy Produce, Place to Buy Seafood, Loyalty Program, and Grocery Store. We're proud to be recognized by our community, and we're committed to continuing to deliver the variety, value, and convenience you deserve. See for yourself what it means to be the best when you shop at Strachan-Manteau.
Mark Paso stays on the mound for Lake Central as we begin the 7th inning. The home team leads 8-0. Paso's been outstanding so far with no runs on 2 hits and a host of strikeouts. He's been able to keep the bases relatively clear with just 1 walk as well, pitching to a lot of contact. 6 strikeouts for Paso. Can he get 3 more outs? He'll face Young, Hacker, and Bogue due up as Lake Central leads 8-0. It's been a good day on the mound for Paso, and I always like to see good pitching to start the series. That favors what's going to be a busy week for Lake Central. If Paso could go the distance today, you keep the rest of your pitching staff fresh, This one lifted foul towards the first base dugout, but it will carry out towards the football bleachers. So the count starts 0-1, but if you don't have to use more than one pitcher in the first game of a series, first game of the week, that makes everybody's job a little bit easier in the following couple games. The breaking ball was just high, makes it a 1-1 count. But when you have to deviate from that pitching plan, use multiple guys on the first day of the week, that could possibly stretch things a little thin as the week goes on. The count now 1-2 to Young, who's 0 for 2 on the day. The 1-2 from Passo gets him to swing over it for the 7th strikeout of the game for Mark Passo. That one was tailing away from the right-handed batter. Young tried to get to it. He just swung above it. 7 strikeouts for Passo. Now it is Caleb Hacker batting. Hacker 0 for 2. Passo kicks, goes to the plate. Drops it in for a strike. For Hacker, trying to find a way to break through. Can't get to the 0-1 pitch. He's behind 0-2. And for Passo, the task is simply just throw strikes. It's the 7th inning. The 0-2 pitch is outside, but you seeing now this part of the lineup for the 3rd time in the game. There's maybe no more tricks up your sleeve, so you just want to beat them with strikes, get through the game, and try to close it quietly. Hacker steps out, gets a practice swing in. Now back in for the 1-2 offering from Passo. Just low, evens the count at 2. But a good take from Hacker, not to be fooled by that one. Now the breakthrough pitch. 2-2, it's high and away for a ball. We're full at 3-2. But that take from Hacker on a low pitch, that could be tough for a taller batter to get to that, so a wise take from Hacker. 3-2. Hacker fouls it over the screen, and it rattles around the bleachers. So the count stays where it was at 3-2. Aaron Svetlin, our cameraman, tried to make the one-armed catch it, and it evaded him. Now the 3-2. Hacker drives it towards right field. And sliding to make the catch is Brower for out number 2. Brower had to lean over to get to that one, started his slide, was able to scoop it and prevent it from hitting the turf. Nicely done in right field by Brower for the 2nd out. That's when Hacker, you get a hold of it, you put it in a good spot, and just a better catch is made. It's been that kind of day for Portage. 2 outs down to their last hope in Ryan Bogue. 2 outs, nobody on. And Mark Passo trying to see if he could go the distance here. The count 1-0. He winds and fires. 1-0. Skip down the third base line and foul just ahead of Friesma. So Bogue will have to go back to the batter's box with the count 1-1. Bogue swung on top of that one, just chopped it, and it skips along the third base line and breaks foul before the base. Friesma waited back for it, and wise to do so as it was foul. A ball and a strike to Bogue. 0 for 2 with a pair of groundouts. The 1-1 breaks outside, makes it a 2-1 count. Bogue been handling things at third base today. The senior infielder trying to make something happen against Passo. He winds up for the 2-1. Bogue fouls it off the end of the bat. First base side and towards the bleachers and skips towards the track. The meet's still going on, I think, and that's a loud strike from Bogue. Evens the count at 2 apiece. Passo's 2-2. Takes a little something off it, gets him to swing over it for strike 3. That will end the ball game. Passo ends it with a strikeout for the complete game shutout to get the win for Lake Central, 8-0. It was a well-pitched game for Lake Central. Passo throwing the complete game. They pick up a big Duneland win to improve to 10-6 on the year, 5-4 in conference play. Portage falls to 12-7, 5-4 in Duneland play. These two teams will be back at it again tomorrow for the second game of the series. We'll hand out some post-game hardware, but we will take one quick break. We'll be back to put a bow on this one. You're watching Baseball Night on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Get Pulse technology on your team. Hit a home run with our managed print and copier services, IT and technology solutions, office furniture and design services, office supplies, scoreboards, and AV solutions.
Have you heard? Stratford-Manteau was voted Best of the Region 2025 in several categories, including Best Caterer, Deli, Flower Shop, Food and Grocery Delivery, Fried Chicken, Place to Buy Produce, Place to Buy Seafood, Loyalty Program, and Grocery Store. We're proud to be recognized by our community, and we're committed to continuing to deliver the variety, value, and convenience you deserve. See for yourself what it means to be the best when you shop at Stratford-Manteau.
Thinking about what to do after high school? Consider a career with Boilermakers Local 374. As a Boilermaker apprentice, you'll earn while you learn. We offer excellent wages and benefits, and as part of our no-cost hands-on apprenticeship program, you'll learn from the best in state-of-the-art training centers and on the job. Become a union Boilermaker and get on your way to a great career. Find out more, visit www.local374.org or call 219-845-1000.
Four Seasons Mechanical proudly serves Northwest Indiana, providing quality, reasonably priced, reliable service. With a quality and comfort guarantee, the professionals at Four Seasons Mechanical offer a wide range of services in heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. Whether it's residential or commercial, Four Seasons Mechanical is there 24/7. To find out more, the website is fourseasonsmechanical.com or give them a call at 219-756-7020. Four Seasons Mechanical, your indoor air quality specialist.
Company's Lantern Man. If you're a contractor, it's my job to make your insurance coverage simple and affordable. Because I know time is money, I'll come to your business. Certificates and bonds are a snap. Wherever you are, whatever business you're in, we've got you covered. As Crowell Company's Lantern Man, I'm your insurance superhero.
Crowell Company's Insurance Professionals, Highland, Merrillville, and Michigan City.
Wrapping things up at Lake Central, where it was the home team, the Lake Central Indians, getting the win 8-0 over the visitors from Portage. Lake Central picks up their 10th win of the season, their 5th in conference play. So let's get started with the post-game hardware. It's time to name the Crowell Companies Lantern Man Superhero of the Game. Crowell Companies have offices open from 9 o'clock to 7 o'clock Monday through Friday and Saturdays till 2 o'clock in Highland, Merrillville, and Michigan City. The Crowell Companies Lantern Man Superhero of the Game was... Tonight, it was Lake Central's Mark Passo going 7 innings with 2 hits against, no runs, 1 walk, and 8 strikeouts, a complete game shutout for Passo. He was outstanding, worked very well, just had good command, control, and good pace to get the win. His 3rd win of the season. A big job for the Lake Central starting pitcher. Moving along, it's time to name the blue-collar player of the game, brought to you by Boilermakers Local 374. Boilermakers Local 374, earn while you learn with Boilermakers Local 374. The blue-collar player of the game tonight was, from the Portage side, we'll go with their starting pitcher, Caleb Hacker, was able to battle, pitched with some runners on base, pitched his way out of a little bit of trouble in the 2nd inning with runners on the corners, picked up 4 strikeouts, in the game in 4 innings of work. So Hacker earns those blue-collar effort for Portage in the loss. And now to the highlight portion of the game. It's time to name the proud-to-be Union play of the game presented by Ironworkers Local 395. To find out how you can become a Union Ironworker, visit ironworkers395.com. And tonight's Ironworkers 395 play of the game was, we'll wind it back to the 4th inning when Hunter Cole was up to bat to lead off for Portage. At this point, it was a 4-run game. Cole really got a hold of a good swing, lined it along the first base side, but it was a better catch made by Tyler Thuftedall, who was able to dive to the right, made the leaping catch, almost looking like a goalie in hockey making that sprawling save to the post, but Thuftedall with a outstanding play to flash the glove and take away what could have been a single, maybe a double from Cole. So that was tonight's Ironworkers 395 play of the game, presented by Ironworkers Local 395, Union Strong. Now, thanking everyone involved with tonight's broadcast to our management team at Region Sports, led by executive producer Chris Ramirez, Rich Castillo, Zach Miller, and Mike Dewan. Mike Dewan was pulling double duties, doing a great job as our producer tonight, keeping things on the up and up. Aaron Svetlin working the camera, braving the elements, and capturing all the action. Good job to him as well. Thank you to the coaches of each side, Shane Prance of Portage and Mark Swartzen and Truber from Lake Central. The athletic directors, Portage's Brett St. Germain and Lake Central's Chris Enyart. And to the viewers across all of our platforms at the IHSAA Champions Network, regionsports.com, YouTube/Region Sports, Facebook/Region Sports. This is Leo Stauder thanking you for watching Baseball Night on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Tonight's broadcast is made possible by Strack & Van Til, your favorite Indiana-made grocery store. Crowell Insurance Company, the insurance superheroes. Ironworkers Local 395, proud to be Union. Four Seasons Mechanical, quality and comfort is our guarantee. Boilermakers Local 374, earn while you learn. Pulse Technology, leading the way in technological innovation for over 70 years. Visit Michigan City LaPorte, closer than you think, better than you imagine. IBEW Local 697, proud to support high school sports. Bricklayers Local 4, the best hands in the business. Economy Electric Heating and Cooling, keeping you cool in the summer and cozy in the winter. Mark Macknick, Chicagoland Tax Professionals. Blythe's Team Sports, where the athlete shops. And Hampton Inn, downtown Indianapolis. This is the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.